All right, welcome in everybody back to the Cowboy Slot Channel. Today we have a very special live stream for you guys, something that's a little bit different. Today's topic is all about home slot machine ownership. And we do have a guest with us today. This is Chris Day. He's the owner of Slot Machines Unlimited, nation's largest and most trusted retailer of slot machines. He's going to be here in the chat answering some questions for you guys as well. But yeah, we're going to talk all about home slot machine ownership. They are a lot of fun to have, obviously. I've got them in my house, but how exactly do you get one? And what all is the process of getting one? So we're going to be answering those questions for you guys today. So welcome in. This is a really cool interesting episode. And Chris, thank you very much for being here today.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for having me. And for those of you that don't know me, I own Slot Machines Unlimited out of Ohio. And Brantley and I have talked for a year and a half, 2 years now. We've done some business together, and believe it or not, I didn't know this until about 20 minutes ago. We were competitors 10 years ago.
We were.
So, I might have wrote him a message about selling a machine too cheap. So
right,
I apologize. Yep. I don't apologize actually, because I don't. But no, we've done a lot, and maybe we can give you guys a different look on what actually goes on with these machines when they get retired, let's say, from the casinos, or when you guys say, well, they took my favorite machine out. What do they do with them? There's a lot of things that nobody knows that behind the scenes, and hopefully we can touch on that and answer any of you guys' questions that you have, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions about particular machines or anything like that, feel free to put that in the comments, and we will get to that. What do you say about taking some of these comments here, Chris? We can
sure.
get to it.
Give me a minute here, guys. I'm not a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Low limit loot lane slot says, I've been looking for a Game King for the amount of games. Draw poker, slots, blackjack seems entertaining as opposed to buying a double diamond. We were actually just talking about this. That would be the pretty much G23, that cabinet. Yeah. You want to talk about those devices?
So I would say overall the Game King. The Game King is the most popular machine that we sell for a few reasons. You have a lot of options. You've got Game King. We got poker, slots, Keno, blackjack, and roulette. I actually have one behind me. I know it's a little bit hard to see. I'm kind of doing a redneck studio for now until I get better at this. So bear with me. But there's these machines here range from around 1,500 with different options. And then, like Brantley said, we do sell IGT G23s. Okay. And to some of you are like, what the hell is a G23? It's basically just a poker machine that's larger than this back here with 23-inch monitors. It's a nicer machine. Okay. And then there is another type that is the G23 slant top. So a slant top machine is a machine you don't need to stand for. You just pull a chair up to it. Okay. It's a larger, big, bulky machine where you see a lot of people put their ashtray and do this on it. So if you ever seen one of those, that's a slant top machine. So a lot of people buy the Game Kings because you've got 80 some games in there. So you've got tons of options as well. You've got tons of options. And you can change games around, and they're reliable. And it's the best value for your money, in my opinion, because you get so many games. Now, again, there's people that love certain, a double diamond reel spinner, S2000, Sizzling 7. You're not going to get the same thing. You're going to get a video version, but for some people, it's just not the same. So
awesome.
Hopefully,
and
I'll explain what we're going to be running a special on our G20s too for this live stream.
And Mark is in here from Gamble Smart. Welcome in, Mark. Highly recommend the G23 for home use as well. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably the most versatile game of anything. I'm surprised I don't have one yet, but I'm working on it.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, you got some fans in here as well. Bullion Bear says they purchased a Game King and another game from me about 8 years ago. A very easy experience considering a move to Tennessee, but it pains me that we would have to give them up.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, it's your secret, man. You don't have to tell anybody. Just put them in your basement.
Right there, you go. Let's see here.
What machines did you buy? Oh, Game King and double red, white, and blue. Gotcha.
Yeah, those are some awesome ones. And you got another customer in here too. Barry says I bought a couple machines from Slot Machines Unlimited last April. is having a hard time getting someone to talk to about some parts, such as lamp socket holder behind the denom window.
Okay, so some S2. I take it you have an S2000 probably. Message me outside of here, because what we do with the S2000s now is we actually outsource them to a smaller company in Pennsylvania. My technicians actually don't do those in house anymore. We do. Our main business is selling overseas, so we're doing machines that are expensive. Um, and so I've outsourced the S2000 since they are so popular. And I have somebody that does the support and all that. So get with me after this, or find my number, shoot me a text or call, and that's it. Easy. We can get you some light bulbs or sockets or whatever.
Sweet. And simple DAC Outdoors says, do certain states have restrictions even for home use? They do have certain restrictions. It's always recommended to check with your state, which we do have a buyer's guide on our website at ropethejackpot.com. So actually, if you go to our store, ropethejackpot.com/shop, you'll see a link on there that says buy slot machines. If you click on that link, there's actually a button in there where you can check all of your state laws and regulations and stuff like that. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, Chris, or
As far as we get asked that question a lot, this is my take on it. So please, I'm not suggesting anything. A lot of the machines will do where we set them up for free play, where you press a button and it adds 1,000 credits. I don't know of any issues. Take that at your own risk and do whatever you'd like with that information. So that's my suggestion on that.
Thank you. And $4.99 super chat here from George. George, thank you very much. Really do appreciate that. I'm looking to trade my original Buffalo for Wicked Winnings 2 and Wicked Winnings 2 for a Buffalo Gold collection. Is this a good trade, or am I dreaming? That's what George
kind
asked.
of a loaded question, because I would need more information, in my opinion. What type of cabinets are your Buffaloes? Is it a Buffalo and a Wicked Winnings 2 and what's called an Aristocrat Mark 6 cabinet? To give you my personal opinion, the Mark 6 cabinets are an older cabinet from the 2000s, and we do not sell those for home sales unless I know the person. They're a pain in the ass. We primarily break those machines down and sell the parts. It's a very popular machine. Yes, Scott's coin op, Barry. It's a very popular machine in Columbia still. So we'll sell the boards and all that stuff. So if I knew exactly what your cabinets were and what Buffalo Gold you were wanting, because if you want a Buffalo Gold in a Helix or a Buffalo Gold in a widescreen, and you had an original Buffalo and a Wicked Winnings and a 19-inch Viridian, that seemed like a fair trade to me, pretty close. But if you wanted a Helix machine is going to run you around $700 to $7,500. So the Buffalo and the Wicked Winnings, depending on your cabinet, we would take. I don't know if you're asking me if we would take it as a trade, but I primarily don't do trades. But we would use it as credit, if it was a Viridian type machine, either a 19-inch or a widescreen. But if it's a Mark 6, put it on your local marketplace and get you $800 to $1,200 out of it.
Nice. Good deal. Thank you very much, George, for your super chat. Really do appreciate it. Sue has a question here. Do you also buy slot machines? I think we kind of covered that a little bit on the trades there. And hey, Tazzy and Joe's Adventures says they would love to have a double top dollar. Do you have any of those double top dollars in stock right now?
We are working on getting one ready right now.
Nice.
I have one in an SAVP cabinet, which most people aren't going to know what that is, but we do have one out in my shop right now. That will, when we get to it. Here's the thing about a lot of machines. We can do a double top dollar. So if you wanted to actually purchase that machine, we would just build it to your customization. We have probably 3,000 machines that are just sitting in the warehouse that are not working. We have to refurb them. That would actually go in par with the double top dollar. So we do have, I believe we have one.
And also, we're putting Slot Machines Unlimited, the phone number on here. So if you guys if you are looking for a particular machine, like Chris said, they can usually, build one or at least help find you one. So be sure to give them a call. I put that phone number there up on the screen.
The phone number, just so you guys know, is Avery's phone number. He's our retail sales manager. I guess if you want to just give him that title, he's our retail sales guy. Young kid. doing a great job. He's 19 years old and he's got a big boy job. So, but he does a really good job. He runs everything. He runs everything through me, obviously, and we've got his back. He's out in Arizona, so that is actually his number. And he's a texter. It's easier to text sometimes with the amount of information that comes through, so we can remember pricing and what we told you and all that stuff. So, but sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh no, you're good. Jojo here is asking if you can have a slot machine at home in Michigan. Do you know off the top of your head, or I know we've got that link on the website, so always check that.
Michigan is 20 or 25 years. I don't have it memorized. That kind of goes back to what I said earlier. You can come pick it up and take it to your friend in Columbus. Just leave it at that, or set it up for free play. Do with that information with what you want.
And Paul has a question about a 3, 4, 5 times slot machine. I know we kind of covered it a little bit. You could probably build one, or I don't know if you've got any of those in stock.
I probably do. That's probably. I was looking to see if I had one in the showroom. We probably have them up in our Erie location. Or again, it's his name is Scott's Coin Ops Game. If you've ever seen him on eBay or whatever, I send him the machines. He refurbs them. He does all the support. So I am probably 99% positive that we could build one, because we probably have the game kit, or I probably have one up there.
And going back to George's super chat, he's got a MK7.
MK7, okay. Like I said, I hate doing trades. Because it just depends on which part of the Buffalo. I think it was Buffalo Gold. What Buffalo Gold he wants, which cabinet. If he wanted it in a widescreen, you're talking a completely different ball game than a Helix. That software, I'm trying to think here. That software is about $750 just for the software, just for the software. So, but you can contact me after this, and we'll see if we can do something. And I see something in the live chat about Gamblers Oasis. Great company. Mike runs a really good shop. I sell him a lot of his machines because he does some of the older stuff. He's about an hour away, but they run a very, very good shop down there.
Nice. I want to go back to this one because I know this is probably a common question that comes up a lot. So the 3, 4, 5 times slot machine. About how much would that cost? Like about how much is, like, if someone wanted to buy like a 3, 4, 5 times S2000, like what's the range? I know there are price differentiate.
Typically, depending on my mood, $900 to $1,200, somewhere in that range, plus your shipping. If I'm sick of looking at a machine, 900. It just depends. But your Haywire Deluxes, your Double Diamond Deluxes are your better titles, the more sought after titles. It doesn't mean that it's better than a triple Red Hot 7 or a 5 times pay. It's the same thing. Same with the 3, 4, 5. But typically, $1,100-$1,200. They're warranted. They're supported. And Brantley, you and I were talking about this before we got on here. We used to sell these for $600.
Yeah.
$500. Remember that?
Oh, I remember that. I remember that. I remember it too. But no, I would sell a lot every day, because they were cheaper, but there were so many of them. But the amount of calls and stuff just started to add up. But there's not that many people now that do it at scale, right? For the retail side, and the S2000s. I think you're going to see them continue to go up in price. Chris and I were just talking about this before the show. It's amazing because, guys, back in the day, a lot of people, one of the topics that has come up frequently, a lot of people ask, like, why would you buy a slot machine for your house? That's probably like the most common thing that comes up. And actually there's a lot of reasons, but one of them is, they don't depreciate in value. A lot of these increase in value quite drastically. I mean, back in the day, you could buy an S2000 pinball back in the day for, fairly cheap, but now they're very hard to come by. They're very sought after, and their prices, just
let me,
astronomically
interjecting on the pinball. A, they're very popular. B, they're harder to get. And what's happening is if you guys go to Circa, the casinos are buying them back. So I had bought I had got a load where I had 3 or 4 pinballs. I don't have a license to sell the machines to the casino, but I have a contact that can sell to the casino, has a license to sell the machines in casino in Vegas and refurb them. I'll sell the pinball to the guy for 10 grand, and he sold them to Circa for $20,000 or $22,000.
Yeah.
Circa doesn't give a shit. They put it in their high limit, and then they make their money back in a week. It's just such a popular game. So that's why same with the top dollar, why they have actually gone up in price.
And a lot of these games, there's a lot of other benefits to owning a slot machine at home. Game nights are always really fun. You can have your friends over. I've got the roulette table, blackjack tables right here. It's got all my stuff on it right now. But the slot machines, it's always fun to just have a game night, have people come over. But it also will pique your curiosity. It's a fun thing to tinker with. So especially, one of our biggest customer types that would come in and buy slot machines from us are, retired folks out there, looking for something to tinker with, something new. And it really kind of opens up a whole new realm. We've had people buy them for, piggy banks or, like little savings boxes, because you can still get the locks on them and stuff. And, you can put a lock on it, use it as a, a fun little piggy bank, just put a couple dollars in it every day. And you'd be surprised how much it actually adds up.
Itch.
Yeah, it does. It also helps with that itch. So I know Chuck in Connecticut is asking, is the S3000 cabinet readily available?
Typically, we usually have 10 to 20 in stock. We just sold all of ours, but I'll probably have some. Like, it's not a rare type of machine to get, the S3000s. The next question off of that is, what do they usually run? Typically, they're right around that $3,500 price point on the S3000s,
which isn't bad. And one of the other things building off of this that when I used to sell slot machines, I would always mention to people like, hey, if let's say you go to the casino and you win a really big jackpot. Well, what better way to celebrate it than by bringing that game into your house? And now you have a conversation piece. You've got the extra money to spend on it. You've got a conversation piece, and you have something that's going to go up in value and be fun for everybody. So, that's always really fun is, hey, if you win a jackpot, think about maybe purchasing that slot machine, especially if it's one of your favorites.
Now, I just so they're not skewed in the wrong way, I wouldn't say buying a slot machine is going to go up in value.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. No, the newer stuff that we get out is expensive, but we sell those to operators. So if you bought a machine that's $10,000, most likely it's not going to go up to $15,000. Okay. What Brantley is kind of describing, and myself, is some of these games that we offer for the home use, that $1,000 to, let's say, $4,000 range, they're going to hold their value. Some might come down a little, but a lot of these S2s and these Game Kings are going to be around forever because it's just such a popular machine, and it's just a good piece to, even if you don't play it. I'm going to put some in my new house. I've been around my whole life. I just like to look at them. Like, I just like the look of it, the feel of it. So it just depends on what you want to do with. But it's like the newer stuff, not to say you're wrong, but I want like, we have some machines that are 15 grand. Well, 6 years from now, they're not going to be $15,000.
Right.
The market changes, right? So yeah, that kind of, but again, a lot of the home sales stuff that we primarily you'll see on our site, it's going to hold or go up in value, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, speaking of newer stuff, Nervy Odds asks, do you have any newer slot machines available? I know they mentioned Huff and Puff. I thought I saw some on your Facebook page that you might have.
Huff and Puff. We do have Huff and Puff in a Twin Star cabinet. Light and Wonder is not going to sell to a homeowner. They're not going to. They're not going to sell a machine for a home user. No offense, but we do have. They're in a Twin Star. They're $7,500. I can send you a photo if you want to message me on the side, or text Avery. We can send you some pictures. We get that request a lot for
Yeah.
a lot. And if you mention our live stream Cowboy Slots, you get $100 off. And Barry, my email is slotdeals@outlook.com. Slotdeals@outlook.com.
Here, I'll put it in here.
Okay.
Slotdeals@outlook.com. There we go. Pop that up on the screen there for you. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is a good one. After how many hours of play does an older real machine require routine maintenance? What typically would maintenance entail? So this one, it's gonna. So Mark and I talk about this a lot because Mark as well has a lot of slot machines at home, and we are both. There's two teams, and we're both on the same team, and that is always leave the machine on. Mm-hmm. Because when you turn the machine off, and especially if you leave it off for a long period of time, that's when it's got an internal battery in it, and that can cause that battery to drain.
And it just leads to so much other. Yeah.
That battery is probably going to be the only thing I would say that would be really routine maintenance on the machine, which most of those are really easily user replaceable. You're not going to have to make a service call or anything like that. Most of them are pretty easy, pop in, pop out. But Chris at Slot Machines Unlimited, they do have tech support, which I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about the tech support that you guys offer.
So what we do when you just real quick on how we do our process of when you buy a machine for your house. Talk to the salesperson. You want to buy a poker machine. They'll go over your options with you. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I want to see the machine. I had 100 of these sitting in my warehouse. Okay. So what it does is it goes up on a bench. It's got an order sheet. The technician on the team will do his thing right on the machine. And then you'll get a video of your machine before it leaves. It'll then come to your house from a shipping company. We do have a video of kind of like dummy proof of what to do when you get the machine. Sometimes we forget to send it. Or there's support as well. Like Carlos has his own he does the retail, his team does. And you can contact Carlos if you have an issue. So typically what happens with the support is I'm in Ohio and we sell a machine to Texas. Okay. We sell you a $1,500 machine. Obviously I can't send somebody to your house. I'd be out of business. The only machines that we're going to sell that we can put into someone's house is that we can help you with over the phone, FaceTime, whatever it is. And I would say 99% of the time, the techs, they can get it working. Yes, do we have that limit every once in a while? We do. It might happen. That's not our goal. That's not our key or anything like that. But that's why we always send a video beforehand. So you've got a peace of mind, and we've got something to back ourselves up on too. Like, hey, you said this machine was, look, because we'll show them the whole machine. And they're like, oh, this has a scratch. Well, it's a 16-year-old Honda Civic. It's going to have a scratch on the side, So, and then we also, what I started 2 months ago, which has been great, is I've got some guys off of New Life Games where we started what's called smooth support. And because Carlos, if you can imagine, we sell a lot of machines for home use, a lot. The support on the phone can be kind of brutal sometimes. It can. And so we made a group where if there's an issue, we'll send it to that group and one of the guys will take care of it on that team. And they'll do the support if you bought a machine. Because I still get texts and calls. I bought a machine in 2015 and it doesn't work. I'm like, shit. Yeah. But we'll send them to that group and we'll do the best we can to help them. So that's how the support works. You can see all of our reviews on the internet. We've been doing it for a long time. We don't want issues. We don't want phone calls. Trust me. We don't want to sit there on phone. You guys don't know how to work on the machines. We don't expect you to. So we want to try to make it as easy as possible for the homeowner.
100%. Hey, Proud Monkey has kind of an interesting question here. And this is one that actually has come up a couple of times that people have asked about just in general. Is the trend of casinos leasing machines instead of buying them affecting the ability to get slots on the private market?
It's a good question.
That is a good question. Always Proud Monkey coming in.
What's that?
I said always Proud Monkey coming in with the good questions.
I haven't seen a whole lot of that. Now, here's that could change because these machines are getting so advanced, so much copyright stuff, so many different themes. You know, I get asked all the time for certain games. Like I can't get it. Like Wheel of Fortune, obviously, is a lease game. I only really see that in certain casinos like Oklahoma, and I think there's a couple casinos in Washington where they lease all their machines. So I can't buy them. There's so many machines for sale that I have never really like, oh, they need to stop leasing games. You know, I've never really thought of it that way. But that could be something to watch in the future. And I've always thought about that in the back of my head. Where is this going to be 7 years from now? Are these going to be so advanced that you can't put this in someone's house? You know, it just is what we got to be able to support it and stand behind it too. So that's why we are somewhat limited on what we do sell. Now I will sell newer stuff to people that I know or I think it's not going to be an issue or they're close. But you're not going to see me really sending a J43 halfway across the country to somebody that you know, it's just I don't want the headache if there's a problem because, you know, like on a J43, if a monitor goes bad, it's a $3,500 monitor, you know?
Right.
So, okay. Yeah. I don't know if that answered it or not, but like I said, I've run into that a few times where we have tried to buy machines from casinos and they'll say, you know, hey, we lease all of our equipment. So, yeah, but it's not a super common thing.
Few and far between. So
correct.
Kind of let's flip the spectrum here, because I know we just talked about like the new machines and like, you know, getting new ones. But Cheryl has a question here about coin operated machines. Are there any quarter coin machines available anymore? I don't know if do you guys carry coin machines or?
So again, the coin machines we would have would be S2000s, and I'm going to be very blunt about this. We do have coin handling that we can install. I hate it.
It's not worth it. It's the coin machines are not worth it.
And to be honest, all the coin stuff I have, I still sell a lot of machines to Africa. They're still obsessed with them. So I'm just gonna. I'll be honest. I wouldn't say I'm gonna overcharge them, but I'm gonna make my money on them. Because they're just so few and far between. And we actually, if you go to Circus, I actually sold 20 coin machines at Circus. So I actually provided the equipment to the same person that sold to Circa. They had the license, they did the refurb, and I think they're getting delivered in the next week or two. So the Circus still kills it with coin machines. And I get it. People want to hear the ding, 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 ding. But it is a pain in the ass. Trust me. Yeah. And I know you know the coin handling. Now, you imagine doing tech support on coin handling where you got to find the coin that's stuck in the hopper. It's not friendly. We'll do it, but I'm going to extremely advise not to do it because you're not going to care about the coins after the first week.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing that sucks is, let's say you have 500 credits on the machine. Okay? And the grandson comes and hits cash out, which happens a lot.
Yeah.
You've got 17 quarters in your hopper, and I'm getting a call on a Friday night. Well, I used to back in the day. I don't have to deal with it anymore. Is my hopper won't pay out? Well, you only have 17 quarters in there. It has to pay 500 quarters out. Well, how do I? Is there a quick? No, I told you not to do this.
Yeah, you know? It's not worth it.
No,
definitely not worth it. And Brian, thank you very much for your super chat. Really do appreciate it, guys. The super chats, super stickers are very helpful to the channel, so thank you very much for that. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, Mark from Gamble Smart says you have to keep at least 100 coins in there anyway for the weight. Yeah, the coin machines just, you know, I get the novelty of the coin machines. It was a big request when I sold slots, and we outfitted, I think it was a Wild Cherry that we had. We outfitted with a coin hopper and all of that, but I mean, the more moving parts that you add is just more stuff that can break. And when those break, they're very, very difficult to find. So I really do not recommend the coin operated stuff at all, which, you know, and again, kind of flipping from that, really cool system, which I know you guys offer, is the TITO system, the free play system, you know, being able to print your ticket out, put it back in. That's really helpful, especially if you want a high denom machine. I know my pinball machine over here, I have set up for $10, $25, $50, and $100 denom, and I just have tickets that I can use on it. So That's a really cool feature, and that's something that can be added into pretty much any machine, right, Chris?
Yeah, we actually just figured out how to do aristocrats yesterday. We've been trying for a while. Um, I don't know all the details to it yet, but I believe Carlos, with some help of some other people, can start doing like a Buffalo. On a Mark 7, we can start. Or on a Mark 7 machine, we can start doing offering TITO. But I'm pretty sure we have it down, and obviously your IGT Bally Williams, Konami. Aruze may be the only. I can't remember. We don't sell that many Aruzes. I can't remember if that's got TITO or not. But other than that, we don't really. There's no other brands that we really push to the public per se. But TITO's the way to go. It really is, Louis. You're
100%.
Especially with the bills too. I mean, like Brantley said, so many moving parts. The less is more on a slot machine.
Absolutely. One more jackpot says, we kind of covered this a little bit about the legalities of owning a slot machine, but we do have a guide on our website that actually, if you click the button, check your state, you can actually check all of your state's rules. It's really easy. So it's just a link to the Wikipedia article. So you can even look it up directly on Wikipedia, owning a slot machine ownership by state. You can look that up on Wikipedia. Obviously, it is Wikipedia. They don't have the entire law book on there, but some states have stipulations, some states don't. Some states it's allowed, some states it's not. It really just depends. But it's always recommended to definitely check that. And Kevin, thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, this is our buyer's guide that Kevin is sharing. So thank you very much for sharing that in the comments. Highly recommend, guys, go check out that link because it definitely has a lot of interesting and good stuff on there. George has a very good question. This is one I know a lot of people are curious about. How much is shipping usually? Now, obviously, it's going to depend on where you are in the country and how far you are, but what's a rough average, Chris, for shipping a machine?
I would say rough average is $250 to $300. Now, again, I'm in Ohio, right? So if you were in Kentucky, it's going to be $175 to $200. Now, one thing that we've done is we actually have a warehouse in Arizona now. So if you're on the West Coast, Utah, Nevada, it dramatically cuts down your shipping, obviously, from Havasu, Arizona. It really just depends. If you wanted a machine that we don't have in Havasu and it's going out to Nevada or Utah, you're probably looking like $300 to $350 on the machine. The more machines you buy, the more the price per machine goes down. The price of shipping goes up, but the price per machine goes down. So if you want 2 or 3 machines, it's always better, a little bit cheaper to buy them at once because you're going to save a lot of money on shipping.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kevin, hey, another
I remember Kevin Deal. I remember
another happy customer in here. He's bought an S Plus, S2, G23, BB1, all from you, Chris.
Well, he needs to buy another one.
Yeah, so here's the thing, guys. We're very happy to have Chris here on the show today because Chris is, like I said, the nation's largest and also most trusted slot machine retailer for home use. We've had already several viewers in here that have purchased from you, Chris, and they've all been pretty happy with it. So guys, if you are interested, please do check them out. I'll put up their phone number then again on the screen because they have tons of machines that you can check out. Let's see. I don't know if we got this one yet or not. Do you carry supplies for the draw poker machines? Need a set of keys. Can't find the original. The attendant keys are pretty easy to come by. But let's talk about like some other accessories. Like other than slot machines, what other things do you guys sell that can help people
our
out?
bread and butter slots, and then we'll have stands and typically we have chairs. But that's really all right now. I still have roulette wheels. You're the only one that bought one, by the way.
Oh, I'm the only one that bought one. Yeah. So my roulette wheel.
You're the only one that bought one. So I was gonna do a little better on that, but luckily they don't take up a whole lot of space, so it's all good. I'll
buy a second one. I love this thing. I love it. Love it. It's cool. You know what? When I got this roulette wheel from you, Chris, I soon after I bought the table. This is the table from Tuscany in Las Vegas. I bought the table. It has been a smash hit for game
Really?
nights. You know, every time we got friends over, family over, anything like that, everybody's at the roulette table. Nobody plays blackjack anymore. Everybody's at the
Yeah.
roulette table. It's just so fun. How much are those roulette wheels going for, by the way?
Usually they're 2,000 to 2,500 for a roulette wheel. And they're actual roulette wheels from a casino. They're actually from Harrah's in New Orleans.
Yep.
Is where I got them, and I got them over the summer, I believe. Yeah, I got them over the summer. I got about 15 of them.
Oh, let's see. Here.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna pull up this question, but finish what you were saying, then I'll pull it up.
I was just going to answer about the keys. If they were talking about
Oh,
a
yeah.
reset key, we had those. Most likely, they're talking about the original key. And I get emails and calls about this every day. If you've lost your actual key to get in the machine, I would say 95% chance you're going to be drilling the lock out. The locks are there's no universal lock for the machine. So I get my locks from China. When you were selling machines, you might have got it from somebody in the States, or eBay or whatever it is. So there's no universal locks that go on the machines. Unfortunately, you're probably going to be drilling that thing out.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about some hardware. Kevin's got a software question. Do you have software titles for the MK7?
We do. Yeah, you can message me later on the software. You're on your own, though. I'm not telling you how to do it.
Let's see. Hey, Spiceman says he's ready to buy a Buffalo slot machine after hitting 4 jackpots.
Nice.
Are they worth the investment to have at home? I would love to start hosting family fun game nights. That's the coolest thing, about having slot machines at your home is a family game night. They're just a load of fun. Plus, you've got that memory to share that you've hit those jackpots. And I think, Chris, you've got some Buffalo in stock right now, don't you?
Yeah, we can make it's typically we sell that machine in the Aristocrat Viridian cabinet, which again I can show you guys pictures. But we always have that machine. We always have Buffaloes. We've got newer Buffaloes as well. They are more expensive. The average Buffalo on a 19-inch Viridian we sell for around $2,000. If we're going to do it in a widescreen cabinet, which is a bigger monitor, it's a nicer machine. Those usually run for around $3,000 to $3,500, depending on your accessories that you get with it. And we do have Buffalo Gold. We've got Buffalo Revolution. You're going to be paying for the software, so you're going to be around $4,000 for that machine. If you wanted it in a nicer cabinet, which is an Aristocrat Helix, which they're newer cabinets, those are, again, around $7,000, $7,500. We are offering the ARCs for home use. If you know what an ARC is, it is it's a big wave machine. Those run around $9,500. But again, typically for your home use, you're going to do a 19-inch or you're going to do a widescreen. So you're between $2,000 and $3,500 for a Buffalo, and there, as you know, in the Viridian, it's the Aristocrat. It's pretty much the only title people ask for. This Buffalo.
Yeah. Let's see. Michelle says Tropicana closing. Will that bring many things to the market? We were talking about this in the live stream a couple days ago about Tropicana closing. Actually, no, it was yesterday. Gamble Smart's live stream. What do you think? You think that's going to bring more stuff to the private market with Tropicana closing? Because I know they got a lot of good old stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be like any other casino when they close. I believe. I don't know for sure what's going to happen. I have no idea. They may send all those machines back to the manufacturer and destroy them. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how many machines Tropicana has. Let's say they have 2,500, 3,000 machines. What they'll do is they'll send out a bid list. So myself and other people that are in the business, we'll get a list of machines and we'll be able to bid on them and clear the casino out. That happened at the Trump Casino in Atlantic City, I believe, in 2013, 2014. There was about 3,000 machines that just hit the market all at once. It also happened down at the Riverboat in Lake Charles. I can't remember the name of the casino, but it was during COVID. And I went down there and the whole boat closed. I mean, there's 600 machines. So it's just like anything else, car lot closing. They're going to have 50 cars to liquidate. So yeah, to answer the question, I guess, there will be a lot of machines that would flood and hit the market. So that also is what varies the price on some of the newer stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, Silver Queen has a good question, and this is a machine. This is a machine that I also want, Chris.
I do.
This
I
this is
almost have. My brother's watching. I'm
multi-win
99% positive we have that machine.
Ooh. All right. So Silver Queen and I are going to have to battle it out then, because I want that
Well,
machine.
if I had the software, I have plenty. I can get you as many as you want.
All
I'll
right.
just check.
Can you
Remind
get
me tomorrow, and I'll check on the software because we can
can
put
you
it in
get
an
dollar action though? Dollar action's my favorite.
I don't know the game that well, so.
All right. I'm sure you could probably get it.
We got to ask. I'm not a technical person, so the techs would know, because typically Ainsworth is a Latin American machine for us. Latin America, it does well in the islands, Antigua. I don't get a lot of people that ask for. You don't see that many of them in the casinos. You know, the Ainsworth.
So,
but if I'll check on that software. How much? It depends on what cabinet, but you're probably looking around 3,500 for that.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
The CPUs on that machine, I can sell to the casinos for 2,000 because they no longer make those CPUs. It just depends on the cabinet you want to get it in, but it's probably going to be an A560, for home use. So is that the multi-win 7? Is that in the 32-inch? Like he's got the big monitor? I think. Or is it the dual screen?
The multi-win 7. I know it's the software. I think you can put it on a couple different cabinets, but it's got like the Eagle Bucks, Thunder Cash, Mustang Money 2, all of that in one, with the same must hit by Progressive.
I'll check on that. Remind me tomorrow, or if you're on this and you are interested, just get a hold of me. All I got to do is check software. I can get the software. So I would say 99% chance, yes, we have that machine.
All right, there you go, Silver Queen. Let's see. It's an interesting question here. When you buy a slot machine, do you have to have it in a climate-controlled area, or can you put it in a garage or a man cave? So I want to share a story really quick. I had a customer years ago who bought like 5 machines from me, like 5 of them. And one day I got a service call for all 5 at the same time, because we offered the support and stuff. And I was like, how did all 5 go down at the same time? He had them outside on his patio in a rainstorm.
It's your fault too, probably, right?
I was like, dude, you can't have these outside. Like they do have to go inside. They do run hot. I will say that. Mark, if you're in the chat, Mark knows he will.
I'm in my showroom right now, and I'm sweating.
Run hot.
Yeah, I'm sweating in my showroom right now. It's 40 degrees out.
Exactly. So they do run hot. So cooler environment is definitely better. Absolutely.
Well, let me just to elaborate on that. I would, when it's the winter time and we sell machines, we always put a thing on there. Let the machine, bring it inside and let it warm up for a night before you plug it in, because it's cold. I don't suggest, if you're typically in a state that gets cold, which most do, I wouldn't sit it into your bare garage during the winter time.
Right.
You have issues.
I know when I brought home this pinball machine, because I went to go pick it up in Salt Lake City. So I picked it up in Salt Lake City and I brought it back, and it was literally like negatives outside. It was like negative 10 degrees. This thing was a popsicle when I brought it home, because it was in the back of the truck upright.
Yeah.
Obviously it was covered, but it like had
windy
frost all over it. What's that?
I said probably windy and snowing.
Yeah. So it had to warm up before we could even set it up. I've never heard of this game, Sea Monkeys. Rare pop.
I think I have one. Scott Coinop, if you're watching this, I'm going to text you. I think I have a Sea Monkeys machine in Pennsylvania. Because he builds the iGame. It's an iGame. It's actually a pretty cool game. So it's an older iGame, like that's in the Texas T. I don't think you can see the Texas T, but see, like in that cabinet behind me, is Sea Monkeys. Almost positive we have Sea Monkeys in Pennsylvania.
There you go, Kevin.
Tell you what, go ahead and ask a question. I'm going to check my phone real quick, because I think he sent me a picture.
While you're looking that up, I'll take this one here from Spiceman. Do you need a business or wholesale license to purchase machines from a closing casino, or is it free for all auction? No, the public cannot participate in these auctions. You have to have a special license in order to even get on the list. It's not just a business license, so you can't just go out with a LLC or a regular business license and come in. You do have to have a special license, and you have to have a paperwork from the DOJ from the Department of Justice to be able to do that. So typically, like I know for retailers to get into the auction, you have to provide not only your business license, but you also have to provide your DOJ certifications or your state certifications or something like that. It's a lot more in depth than just business license. But no, the casinos, individuals are not able to purchase directly from casinos or participate in those auctions. Those auctions are closed, and usually there's a list that retailers have to get on. Which, if ironically, I still get these emails. I get emails all the time because I do still maintain all my
Send them
licenses.
to me.
Yeah, I got the one for Gila River. If you're interested in that one, I got bid lists from them. But no, the retailers will get a bid list. You know, they'll get a notification that there's a bid upcoming. But you have to have all of your stuff in line to even get on that list. So it's kind of like an invite only thing.
Yeah.
What'd you find out looking that up?
It wasn't Sea Monkeys. It was Twin Wind that he had done.
Oh, okay.
But I texted him to see if he's got the glass in the software, so we could just do a transformation if he does one.
Louis says, do you have any machines on the show floor that are just ready to go, ready to ship?
I do. So behind me, you can see these two. This is in every multimedia Yardbirds game. It's kind of hard to see. And then we've got our Game King. And then I've got about another 15 or 20 just sitting in my showroom. I don't want to mess up my redneck studio here until I get better at this. So, but we do have. Sorry, see, I already messed it up. Sorry. Yeah, and like I said, in our showroom at any given time, we've got 15, 20 games. When they get some downtime, or I've got 5 machines sitting over here that Scott's got done. He'll send them down on a truck, and then when they're bought, they go up. And but typically our machines are built to order, I guess you could say.
Good to know. Celine has a question here. How much would it cost to ship to Quebec, Canada? You do international shipping, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to misquote that because there's some customs things in that. I'll get you. It's probably going to be $400 or $500 because there's customs and border stuff with Canada. But we ship machines to Canada. I think we just sold 2 today, actually, to Vancouver area. But it might be even cheaper than that. I wouldn't say more than 500. I would not say that. But I would say around 400, maybe, give or take. It could be cheaper. You can email me tomorrow. I can get you exact or a ballpark number if I have your address.
And I put that email address up there on the screen, for you guys. And again, I'll put the phone number up there as well. So if you guys do have questions about anything, you can always give them a call. Let's see. Here's another one. I see Slot Machines Unlimited has a Lord of the Rings slot. Is it the Two Towers or Return of the King? Love Return of the King.
I don't know. I don't know which software that I think we have one set of software. I think the two guys, please understand, I don't have every single machine memorized. Okay. There's just so many of them. I do the best I can. But we don't keep an inventory, believe it or not. It's impossible to keep an inventory of what we had because we're moving so many machines around. I would have to have 3 full-time people just to do inventory. It doesn't really make sense for us. But I can find that answer for you, though. Whatever the one is on the Bluebird 2 is the one that we have. Because I know that there's one on the Bluebird 2 that's got the ring. You know, I don't know if you've seen that one, Brantley. It's got the ring.
I think Mark, if you're still in the chat, I think you had one. Which version did you have? Because I think Mark had the one with the ring on it.
I think that's the the Twin Towers one. I'm gonna try and look it up here while we're so I don't look like I know what I'm talking about now. Lord. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to add to that. Your warehouse is pretty big. You've got the one in Arizona plus the one in Ohio. Like ballpark average, how many machines do you have? Like altogether, like ballpark average.
I probably have around 3,000 machines in my warehouse at the moment, and there's probably 200 or so out in Havasu. But we destroy a lot of machines. We destroy more machines than we sell. I know that sounds crazy. Well, why don't you just sell them? Because we break them down and I sell the parts all over the world. Sometimes the parts are more valuable to the machines because you have to remember the main purpose of a slot machine is to make money. Operators need the parts to make money. And there's just only so many machines we can obviously, there's lists where I'll buy 100 machines and I'll keep 8 because the rest of them are SAVPs or Valley 6000s. And I'll just pull the BV out. It's a UBA 10, and I'll sell we'll either use the UBA 10s for our international, or we'll sell them. Same with iVisions. The casinos will buy the iVisions back. So I would say in a given year that the amount of machines that runs through our warehouse is probably 15,000 machines runs through our warehouse a year.
Proud Monkey said that the image on the website says 2 towers at the top. So
I knew I could count on Proud Monkey. I knew he had
you can always count on Proud Monkey. Mark's was the BB2, came in 2 variants with the transmissive reel.
That's it. Yeah. I don't think I've ever had that machine.
I know Mark's favorite cabinet is the SAVP. I know that. He's going to laugh at that one. That's his favorite cabinet.
It's the worst.
Actually, we had that question, which I think I might have missed it. I thought I had started on here, but somebody asked, what is the worst game to? So actually, this would be good. What is the worst game to own for home ownership, and what is the easiest and best to own, like a beginner, and then the hardest?
That's good. That's a good question because I'm going to get people that are going to disagree with me that know about machines, right? SAVP is the newer version of kind of like the S2000. So the S2000 guys is like your double diamond, your Sizzling 7, your 5 times pay. They made an SAVP, a newer version, which looks a little bit cooler, I guess. It is an absolute nightmare. There's so many door sensors on it. The doors aren't shut. I think I've sold that's the machine that we just strip the most of. If you go out my warehouse right now, there's probably 60 getting ready to go in the dumpster because we pull the BV, the printer, the CPU, and it goes in the trash. I mean, and then if they have the dynamic buttons, I'll just sell the dynamic buttons back to the casino. So the dynamic buttons I can get $65 for. Well, there's 14 on the panel, so I could sell it for just as much as the machine I'm going to get out of the machine. Now, maybe only half the buttons work, but you get the concept. I would say SAVP, in my opinion, throughout my years, is probably the worst cabinet to try and own as a home user. There's probably some older ones, some Medtronic and stuff like that, that are probably pretty bad. I was always ingrained in my head that the Valley 6000 sucked. That was my dad always telling me that. People are going to disagree. I don't know. I mean, I never really dabbled with the 6000s because we always did S pluses instead. The S Plus was a machine, still is. They were so reliable that I could even work on them. That's how I started, was building S Pluses, and I can't do anything handy. So if I could get the thing working, then I would sell it to the house. Yep. But I would say the most dependable, reliable machine for a home user at this point, in my opinion, is probably the Williams products.
Really?
My opinion, yeah.
I would have said S2000.
S2000 as well, but the issue with the S2000, you got to remember this. Everybody here doesn't know about the machines like you and I do.
True.
So the battery dies, and they got to change that chip in there. How many times do you think they break those legs? And then off? On the Bluebird 2s, it tells you the error. There's YouTube video. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube videos of S2000s, but there's YouTube videos of the Bluebird 2s, Bluebird 1s, blades, simple kind of things. And then you just put a thing in to clear it if you've got an issue. My opinion, yeah, you're right. Ainsworth is pretty easy, but we hardly sell any of those reviews. They don't even need to clear.
Which also, guys, really quick, because we're at 54 minutes right now. At the end of this live stream, we're gonna conclude this live stream here in a few minutes. At the end of this live stream, Gamble Smart has a very, very cool premiere that they're doing. And this live stream is going to link you right over there. So be sure to stick around to the end, because this live stream will transfer over to the Gamble Smart channel for their premiere, which is going to be really, really awesome. Highly recommend watching that. But yeah, Ainsworth is definitely, that is an easy one.
I would say
sure.
Bluebird 2, if I could just sell those all day for home sales. Now I say that I'm gonna answer a text here that the machine doesn't work. But I would say that's the easiest, most real. Like, there's even times I can help, and like I said, I know I've been around it. I don't have that skill in my brain for technical stuff, but I can kind of get through it a little bit. So the Williams game, your Super Jackpot parties, your Dean Martin, that's a Williams machine, guys. The common games like that.
And we'll take this question here, and then I think we'll probably get ready to round out here at the top of the hour. Spiceman says, are there any energy efficient slot machines, or can you use solar power to run these? Really, they don't. They're not big energy hogs, guys. I mean, they're really not. I mean, it depends on the cabinet that you get. I mean, the kind that you get, but they're not huge energy hogs. You're not going to see a giant spike in your bill. I don't know. What would you say is the most energy efficient slot machine, Chris?
Probably your S2000.
Yeah.
It's got the least bells and whistles, but I always kind of had this saying, and hopefully people won't take it the wrong way. If you're worried about your electric bill going up, you probably shouldn't buy one.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't mean it to be, it's just like plugging a TV, and it probably costs you $2 a month. To own. Now, again, a newer machine might be a little bit more. There's some people that have done the amperage, and it's going to cost you this many kilowatts per, like, I don't know that stuff. I'm not going to go that in depth in it, but I've never had anybody call me and say, I can't afford my electric bill because of the slot machine you sold me. So it's just like plugging in a microwave, a TV, or anything like that. It's not that bad. I'll put it to you this way. My warehouse is about 60,000 square feet, okay? And we leave our machines on. I probably leave on 120 machines a day, all day and night, plus with a heater or AC, and our electric bill is around $6,500. So that gives you kind of an example. It's probably going to be a couple bucks for your machine for the month.
Yeah.
To run it.
They're actually pretty energy efficient. I know Louis was mentioning the light bulbs. You can actually, I swapped out all of my old incandescent bulbs in my machines for LEDs. They actually do have LED bulbs that are readily available that you can just plug in, that you can buy, that don't require you to like take the ballast out or anything like that. So those are also out there on the market too. So there's a bunch of stuff that you can do for that. But anyway, guys, again, I'm going to put this phone number up on the screen. This is the phone number for Slot Machines Unlimited. If you guys are ever interested in buying a machine, regardless of what you're looking for, always give them a call because they have a massive selection. And Chris, thank you very much for coming on the show today and helping to answer some of these questions, because these are questions that people have, about owning slot machines at home. And it is a super fun hobby. I mean, it helped get me into machines, and just so much fun with so much to offer. But also, guys, don't forget, right after this live stream, you're going to be redirected to Mark's premiere. Mark has a very, very special video premiere, so be sure to stick around. The video will automatically transfer over to that, so it's going to be a really, really fun episode. It's a really, really great episode to watch. But anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead. We're going to conclude our live stream today, so we can get ready for Mark's premiere over on Gamble Smart, Gamble Safe. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for joining us here today. Chris, thank you very much for coming on the channel and talking about this. I hope that we're able to have you back here soon to answer more questions for people.
I'd love to do it, and as we've talked behind the scenes, I think there's a lot more we can build on this, and hopefully I can take these guys behind the scenes here soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of fun video ideas that we could do with this. But anyway, guys, thank you all again so much for coming in. Really do appreciate each and every one of you. As always, best of luck, stay safe, and we will see you again next episode. Take care, guys.